Thomas Piketty's podcast discusses his theory of inequality based on years of economic data. Inequality is increasing rapidly in Australia. The benefits of economic growth are going excessively to the high-end wealth sector as the quality of opportunity weakens. Not only is this imbalance, it also poses a risk to community health and well-being, sustainable growth and social stability. Piketty presents two claims that I strongly agree on. One in which a governing formula he devised, where R is greater than G, meaning the rate of return on capital R exceeds the rate of growth of output G, and his second argument relates to the ever-increasing wealth of the high-end wealth sector, can cause possible political implications. And to resolve such issues, there must be new policies in place to prevent such further wealth inequality. Piketty's discussion on R is greater than G occurred in the 19th century, causing greater masses of inequality. Subsequently, such issues may arise in the 21st century, where the top few percent of the world hierarchy have a huge share of national wealth at the expense of the middle and lower classes in today's age. This seems to be true in the Australian economy as well, as published by Sydney Morgan Hill. The wealth of Australia's 7 richest people, standing at $56.2 billion, is greater than the approximate wealth of the poorest 20% households, which is equivalent to 1.7 million households, stands at $54 billion. What do you guys think about this? Although it is an approximate amount, the top 7 people aren't the top 20% of the wealth sector. Instead, it can be seen that 7 people are richer than 1.73 million households, and thus wealth inequality is inherent. ABS figures also show an increase in housing stress, where housing stress is defined as living in accommodation in which more than 30% of income is earned for rent. 37% of males and 34% of females in low-income households are now living in housing stress. Subsequently, with the increase in Australia's wealth inequality, there should follow a change in policies. As Piketty argues that with the increasing levels of inequality amongst the world, it can lead to a capture of the political process by the high-end wealth sector. This directly threatens democratic institutions and values. Piketty argues that the perfect counteractive tactic is a tax solution. As he recognizes this is not the ideal approach for the wealthy, it's imperative to find a policy solution to avoid the perpetual risk of growing inequality. As seen in Australia's low rate of taxation revenue and low expenditure on welfare are consequently due to the number of tax concessions that go devastatingly to high income earners. As an economic policy officer at the Australian Council of Trade Union, Matt Cowgill states that reforming super tax concessions can reduce inequality while improving the budget position. With the unfair tax concessions entitlements towards high-income earners has caused a deprivation of the government's revenue that is required in today's social and physical infrastructure needs. To conclude, I strongly agree with Thomas Piketty, and therefore with the increasing inequality within Australia, it is a driving concern that must be resolved.